and welcome again by the broad smiles and warmth in your heart and this quietness to which you occasionally dedicate yourself. The subject is vast. I am sure you have read the books on mantra, and you have seen even in one word like Soham, how many layers of meaning there are. And I am not going to go over the ground that is already known to you. I do not promise to cover everything about Gayatri in this one weekend. As always, whatever we can cover, at least the word bhu will be covered. I will cover the bhuva in November, swa in next year, March. 12 years study of a mantra is not far-fetched. There are 24 syllables plus Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, that is 5 syllables more. And we can take 6 months to absorb the meaning of each one of those syllables. We might end up converting this place into an ashram. The main section known as Gayatri is really Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Anyone has not memorized it before coming? There are 24 syllables in this segment. Syllables. You know the difference between a letter and a syllable. A syllable contains a vowel. Let me just show you the division of the syllables. Ta, sa, vi, tur, va, re, ni, yam, bhar, go, de, va, sya, dhi, ma, hi, dhi, yo, nah, pra, cho, da, yat. All right? Ta, recite. Ta, sa, vi, tur, va, re, ni, yam, bhar, go, de, va, sya, dhi, ma, not ma, hi, dhi, yo, nah, pra, cho, da, yat. All right. Got it? Okay. These are the 24 syllables of Gayatri. Now there is a system in the mantra science known in Sanskrit as samputa. Samputa means to place something in a container so it does not spill. To gather its power in one place. You follow? Condense it and make it compacted. So that in the case of Gayatri, there are certain samputas, certain syllables that are placed before and certain mantra syllables that are also placed after, so that the Gayatri is contained within the realm of certain other ideas, powers and forces that strengthen it and hold it. You get the general picture? Okay. Now, these vary. The shortest form of Gayatri that you know has Om and Bhur, Bhuvaha, Swaha. On the word Om, I would recommend that you read, if you have not already read. Which book do you think I am going to recommend? Swami Rama's book, Enlightenment Without God. That book is entirely about the word Om. The sound Om is composed of three sounds, A, U, M. In the Sanskrit language, wherever A and U come together, they became O. Okay? Om. I will not go into the details of the word Om here, right? But you should make a point of studying the book, so you understand what A is, what U is, what Ma is, and what is beyond. And that work of Swami Rama, Enlightenment Without God, is an explanation of one of the Upanishads, right? Known as the Mandukya Upanishad. There is a story Lord created the three universes, and the disciples, Lord's disciples, Devas themselves, the shining ones, the conscious forces that run the universe, wanted the knowledge of the three universes granted to them. But that knowledge was much too vast, beyond the comprehension of the Devas altogether. They said, Lord, our progenitor, please, could you not possibly somehow condense this knowledge and give it to us in a short form? So he said, all right. So he revealed that knowledge in a condensed form, which is known as the Vedas, V-E-D-A-S, Vedas. The word Veda comes from the verb root vid, to know, from which your word wisdom and wise, and the German Wissen, Wissenschaft, and these words are derived. Veda to know. So he contained it in the three Vedas. But the three Vedas themselves were much too dense. Even to this day, after the unbroken transmission of thousands of years and hundreds of generations, there are few and far between who ever can claim to understand the entire knowledge of the Vedas. So the Devas, the wise ones, the shining ones of the universe, said, Lord, this was very nice. You did a great deal for us, but we can't reach your status of wisdom. This is too much. Can you not condense it a little bit more? He said, yes, all right, okay, I'll do that. So he took the three Vedas and condensed their knowledge into three short sentences, rather segments of a mantra, and he condensed the knowledge of the Rig Veda into this segment, Tat Savitur Varenyam, 8 syllables. He condensed the knowledge of the Yajurveda in the second segment, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. And he condensed the knowledge of the Samaveda into the last segment, Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. So that the knowledge of the three universes condensed into three Vedas and the knowledge of the three Vedas condensed into these three segments of the Gayatri Mantra, they said, that is much easier to handle. But what does it mean? When the Prajapati Lord, the progenitor, started expounding the meaning, he said, wait, this is too much. Can't you abbreviate it a little bit more? I didn't know he had such dense disciples. All right. So he uttered three sounds. Okay? So he uttered three sounds. The word for utterance in the ancient Vedic Sanskrit language is Vyahriti. Vyahriti, an utterance. He uttered the three sounds to them, by uttering which he had at the very first place created the three universes, because the universes are not apart from sound forces. The Lord creates the universe simply by creating a certain sound wave. So the sound wave, by uttering which he had first created the lower universe called the Bhu, that very sound he uttered to the Devas, to the shining ones, to his disciples, and said, Bhu. The sound by uttering which, the sound wave by creating or generating which he had created the middle universe, Bhuvaha, he uttered that sound into the ear of the Devas, and they understood Bhuvaha. And the sound force by which he had created the higher universe, he uttered again for the shining ones to absorb into their light. Uttered the word Swaha. And they contemplated these three sounds, Bhur, Bhuvaha, Swaha. So these three sounds are actually called Mahavyahritis, mega utterances. The word Maha in Sanskrit is related to Greek mega utterances. The three great utterances. So far so good. And they found these three sounds much easier to handle than those 8-syllable segments. And they contemplated these sounds and they began to absorb their meaning. And then there were blocks in them, and they came to those blocks and said, Lord, we asked you to simplify it. This is much too deep and much too detailed. We can't grasp it. You ask us to contemplate this, and when we go into the depth, it's so complex. Could you not simplify it further for us? Oh, all right, he said. He said, ooh. So the sound Om reverberated around the universe. And when they contemplated the sound, then the sound carried them to silence beyond the utterances, beyond the wisdom of the Vedas, beyond the segments of the mantras, beyond the great utterances, beyond the three basic syllables, to the Turiya, the fourth state, which is beyond sound. So the expansion of A is the sound, the mega utterance, Mahavyahriti, Bhuhu. The expansion of U in Om is Bhuvaha. It does not sound so, it does not appear so to our ears, but in the depth of spiritual experience and vision of the universal forces, it is so. The sound is expanded into the meaning of the word Swaha. The sound Bhu is further expanded in the meaning of Tat Saviturvarenyam. The mega utterance Bhuvaha is further expanded into the Tat Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, and sound Swaha is further expanded into Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Now this is when I said that there is a principle called Samputa. You put something before and something after the mantra to hold its force and generate greater power. So this is the first side, the beginning side of the Samputa. And there are two different ways in which this first beginning Samputa is done. These three are the mega utterances or Mahavyahritis, just three, representing all the trinities. Think of any trinity, and that is contained in A, U, Ma. It is contained in Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. You want to know the meaning of the three words? Think of any trinities, and there it is. Understand? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, past, present, future, earth, sky, heaven, navel, heart, eyebrow center. Understand? Gross body, subtle body, causal body. Wherever there are trinities, that is A, U, Ma, or Bhur, Bhuvaha, Swaha. Clear? But there's another sacred number, and that is 7. You speak of the 7 heavens, right? You speak of the 3 worlds. When we speak of the 3 worlds, we speak of the Bhur Loka, the word Loka means a world. Bhur Loka, Bhuvar Loka, and Swar Loka. Level of trinities, the world of the Bhuvar level of trinities, and the world of the swar level of trinities. Understand? But there are also numerous passages in all the traditions that speak of 7 worlds. These 7 sounds actually are the ones that are called Vyahritis. What are the other 3 called? What are the previous 3 called? Mahavyahritis. And these 7 are called just plain Vyahritis, utterances. The sound forces, the forces of sound identified with the 7 worlds or 7 levels of consciousness, or 7 heavens, or whatever you want to call it, you know. And these 7 sounds representing the 7 universes, 7 levels of consciousness, 7 heavens, go as follows. Bhur, Bhuvaha, Swaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. This bhur is actually pronounced as bhu. Let's write it properly, bhu. It becomes bhur by a certain conjunction of sounds again. Bhu. So please recite Om Bhu, Om Bhu, Om Bhu. Hear the sound inside you. Om Bhuvaha, Om Bhuvaha, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Swaha, Om Swaha, Om Mahaha, Om Mahaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Janaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Tapaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Satyam, Om Satyam, Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. Sit in the meditation posture. Bring your awareness to yourself. Relax all your limbs. Relax completely. Inhale, thinking Om. Exhale, as though your breath is starting from the Muladhara chakra with Bhu 3 times. Inhale with Om, and from Muladhara chakra upwards, exhale with Bhu. Inhale 3 times with Om, starting the exhalation from the Swadhisthana chakra. Exhale with Bhuva 3 times. Inhale with Om, exhale with Bhuva. Inhale with Om, starting the exhalation from the Manipura, or the 3rd chakra. Exhale with the sound Swaha. Inhale with Om, exhale, starting the exhalation from the heart center with Maha. Exhaling with Om, exhale from the throat center with the sound Janaha. Inhale with Om, exhale from the eyebrow center, from the 6th Yajna, with the sound Tapaha. Inhale with Om, exhale from the 7th center with Satyam. Now recite Tat Savitur, the rest of the mantra 3 times in your mind. After you have recited, inhale with the sound O. Down to the base of the spine, exhale with upwards through the spine. Gently open your eyes. How is it? Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om. Now this was the Samputa for the beginning of the Gayatri, but there is something at the end also. And there are two versions. One for the people in general, and then those who have had either the initiation into the path of Tantra or into the path of the or into the sannyasa. For them, the last part of the Samputa is different. So I'll write you the one that is commonly used. Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhur Bhuvaha Svar Om. Apo means waters, all the flux of the universe, all the flow. Jyoti means light. Raso means fluid essences and flavors. Amritam means the elixir of immortality, the drink of the gods. Brahma, the supreme transcendental being. And then you have Bhur Bhuva Swar Om. You invoke the presence of all of these powers and feel their presence within you as you recite these words. So recite Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhur Bhuvaha Swarom. So the complete mantra now, Om Bhu Om Bhuvaha Om Swaha Om Maha Om Janaha Om Tapaha Om Satyam Om Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपो ज्योति रसो अमृतम् ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरोम. Some of you are saying bhava, it is bhuva, bhur-bhuva swarom, okay? Bhur-bhuva, bhuva swarom. Bhur-bhuva swarom, swa, swarom, okay? Bhur-bhuva swarom. All right? Swarom. The last part of the Samputa that is given to those who are initiated into sannyasa or who have initiation into tantra, maybe I'll come to that over the weekend. Okay. I'd like you to memorize this form between now and tomorrow evening, because tomorrow evening you will sit and do the japa with this for a while. Can you? You want to repeat it one more time? Let's do it 3 times. Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tatsaviturvareniyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhur-bhuvah Swarom. Om Bhuhu Om Bhuvaha Om Swaha Om Maha Om Janaha Om Tapaha Om Satyam Om Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhur-bhuvah Swarom. Bhuvah Swarom. One more time. Listen to yourself from within, okay? Listen to the sound as it arises within you. Om Bhuhu. Oh, it's not Bhur, Om Bhuhu. Here it is Om Bhuhu. In Bhur-bhuvaha there is R, but here it is Bhuhu. Okay? Om Bhuhu. Om Bhuvaha. Om Swaha. Om Maha. janah, Om tapah, Om satyam, Tat savitur, Om tat savitur vareniyam, Bhargo devasya dhimahi, Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhur Bhuvah Swarom. All right? Clear? That forms the Samputa Gayatri. Understand? It has something before, something after, gathering together of all the forces and containing them within those powers. In the Bhagavad Gita, we read Krishna saying, of the meters I am Gayatri, of the sounds I am of the sounds I am of the meters I am Gayatri. Yeah? I grew up reciting from the Veda one particular passage. In some countries, like Guyana, where I spent some time, I used to be over the radio every week. And if I did not recite this, people would think it wasn't me. It's a passage. Om stuta maya varada vedamata prachodayantam pavamani dvijanam ayuh pranam prajam pashum kirtim dravinam brahmavarchasam Mayam dattva vrajata brahmalokam. Om. I have sung the boon-giving mother of wisdom. I have sung the boon-granting mother of the Vedas. May she, the purifier of the twice-born, inspire and impel me. May she, the purifier of the twice-born, inspire and impel me. And then there are 7 words there. I'll write these words down and explain them to you. Ayuhu, Pranam, Kirtim, you don't need to copy these down. Dravinam, excuse me, Brahmavarchasam. A human being desires 7 boons. Seven boons. First one he desires is ayuhu, a lifespan, a long lifespan. Without lifespan, there is nothing. Neither pleasure nor spiritual progress. Ayu, lifespan. A person dying would give away his entire wealth to live 1 minute more. When we have the lifespan, then we want pranam, prana. Vitality, aliveness, strength, health. Right? We want prana. Pranam. When we have that, then we want prajam, continuity, progeny, sex, husband, wife, children. All of that is included in the word prajam. The word praja means progeny. You want to be a progenitor, like God himself, who is a progenitor, who in the beginning of creation, according to the ancient scriptures, divided himself into 2 halves. By one half he became man, by the other half he became woman, and thereby then joining the 2 halves together, he became the progenitor. So the ancient Sanskrit scriptures go. Okay? So you want to continue to imitate that process. The man and the woman, progeny, prajam. When you have praja, that fulfillment as man, as woman, having the continuity in the form of the progeny, then you want pashum. You know the word pashu? You know the English word pecuniary? Money matters. That word pecu in pecuniary, Latin pecu, is related to the word pashu. And you know the Mexican peso? That is also related to the word pashu. The word pashu and peku both mean cattle. In the ancient times, the wealth was cattle. And that historical fact of the nomadic life is up to this day seen in our pecuniary matters and in our pesos. Okay? The history of words is history of mankind. You know that? Okay? So pashum, you want wealth. You want basic amenities of life. Okay? Just basic amenities. Cattle to plow the land and give you the milk. Basic needs. When you have the basic needs, then the next thing you want is kirtim, reputation, fame, honor. You want to be recognized in the community. You want your name in the newspapers. I want to be seen over the TV. Or you want your neighbors to say good things about you. You feel deeply hurt if people say bad things. So kirtan. You want people to talk good things about you. You want fame, honor, and reputation. So basic amenities of life, reputation, fame, and honor, and then dravinam, real luxurious wealth after that. To go with the reputation you have and have to maintain. And the parties you have to throw to gain that reputation or maintain it. Dravinam. 6 worldly desires, one after the other, arising one from the other in that order. Right? And then in completely different category is the aspiration for Brahmavarchasam, light of God. A completely different category. In a completely different category is the 7th desire, and that is Brahmavarchasam, the light of God. And in the passage from the Veda that I have recited, the passage says, "Abandon all of these to me, says the Lord. Surrender all of these to me." Even the desire for the light of God should be surrendered to God. These 6 should be surrendered for the light of God. First 6, the worldly desires, should be surrendered for attaining the light of God. But then the desire for the light of God also should be surrendered. It says, surrender all of these 7 to me, and thereby go to Brahmaloka, to the world of Brahman. Okay? This particular passage from the Veda has its title as Gayatri. Gayatri is feeling so inflated today, the whole weekend is being dedicated to, just because you can pour me a cup of tea, I'm giving a whole weekend about Gayatri. All right? Thank you. That one who practices the Gayatri, none of these 7 at any level are beyond his reach. Gayatri is the sacred most mantra given in the entire Indian tradition. As you have among the Jews the Bar Mitzvah, when the Gayatri is given, the child is considered twice born. His first birth is from his physical mother and father, and it is said his second birth is from the Gayatri, Mother Gayatri. One is not entitled to participate in any sacraments without knowing the Gayatri, without being able to recite the Gayatri. People cannot even get married. The mantra used to be given in a special ceremony, and from that ceremony then the child was responsible, and still for those who practice it, is responsible for his moral acts. Nowadays people omit it in childhood, but they can't get married until they have the Gayatri. So nowadays they do it one day before the marriage ceremony. Even they do that in Trinidad. No? One day before the marriage ceremony, they are receiving what they've received at the age of 8. You know? And when one has received that Gayatri as a child, then one leads the life of the first part of life, the brahmacharya of the 4 stages of life, the first stage of life, that of the celibate student living in a gurukula, in the family of the guru. The word Gayatri has many meanings. The whole vital force. Gayatri, one who protects and saves the prana, one who awakens the power of prana within you. She who protects the singer, one who sings it. One who is the very impelling force of the pilgrim. We are all pilgrims, passing through these 7 desires, rising through these 7 worlds. And at each step, the practice of Gayatri comes in. Another name for the same mantra is Savitri. Savitri. Another name for the same mantra is Saraswati, otherwise known as the goddess of wisdom. The word Savitri means the daughter of the sun, S-U-N. Gayatri, she who awakens the prana and protects the singer. Savitri, the daughter of the sun, the daughter of the solar force. And Saraswati, the divinity of wisdom, the fount of wisdom, a river that flows through 7 pools. A river that flows through 7 pools, that forms 7 lakes. The Kundalini force, as it flows like a river flowing which forms lakes along the way and it continues to flow, so this Kundalini force forms the 7 pools as it flows. And where the flow is unhindered, it becomes the fount of wisdom, it becomes the goddess of wisdom, goddess of inspiration, goddess of music, and the source of all knowledge. You understand? So this particular mantra has 3 names: Gayatri, Savitri, Saraswati. Sometimes it is also called the Guru mantra. Okay? In the announcement that we sent about this seminar, we said it is the mantra of the solar science. Solar science, Swamiji talks about a great deal, but doesn't tell us much about what the solar science is. And even if he does tell, then it just sounds like so many poetic words. It is a science by which a human being becomes a walking sun. It is a science of awakening the solar force within you. It is that science into which Arjuna himself was initiated right in the middle of the battlefield when he said, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yuga Paduttita Yadibha Sadrishi Tasya Bhasas Tasya Mahatmana. If there were to arise 1,000 suns in the sky, the light of that great one before him was the light of those 1,000 suns. When you have that initiation, it is not that you see the 1,000 suns, but you know an identity of you which is as the 1,000 suns. Even one flash of that vision will either blind you or cleanse you forever. As though the 1,000 suns which had set somewhere below the horizon have suddenly risen and have flooded your very being till there is no body. There are no bones, no flesh, no blood, no limbs, no head, no eyes, no senses, no stomach, no heart, no desires, no thoughts, only a living light which you know yourself to be as the 1,000 suns. You become that. And then you can grant that light to others according to the measure that they can absorb. That is the mystery of the solar science. But for that, much purification is needed, much purification. And Gayatri is the purificatory mantra. You say, well, how much do I have to do of it? There is a word in the tradition, anusthana. Anusthana means a sacred observance that you undertake to do a given anusthana. Like the way we do every year, we do 125,000 repetitions of our mantra during the summer during the Guru Purnima time. No? That is an anusthana, an observance, an undertaking. And it is said that the number of syllables there are in a given mantra, actually, the number of syllables there are in a given mantra, that many 100,000 is a given anusthana. Lucky those who have only one syllable.
No, I can make it more complex for you, don't worry.
The number of syllables there are in a mantra, that many 100,000. So that one anusthana of Gayatri is 2400,000 recitations. 2,400,000. This bit we do 7 here, do 7 there. You know, it's all right. It's a good start for a toddler. It's all right. We are as children in spirituality. We think of ourselves as having risen, but we are as children. We are toddlers. We're just learning to lift our head. We're just learning to turn over, just making those bubbly goo-goo sounds. One day we will learn to speak divine language. Let us hope, let us aspire. Let us have faith that we can. For so many before us have done so and have reached. There was a great Swami in the 13th century who wrote the commentary on the 4 Vedas and guided 2 brothers to establish an empire. Did both. And did 23 anushthanas of Gayatri. One anusthana is how much? 2,400,000. So he did 23 anushtanas and did not reach. The goddess, you might say, if we may be permitted to use such a term, did not confer the grace. Did not confer the grace of the divine vision. Got disgusted. He took sannyasa, became a Swami, renounced everything. The day he renounced, he had the vision of her presence. He said, why did you wait so long? He said, well, she said, in his heart, in his mind, whatever way the deities speak to the devotees, she said, you had impurities of 24 incarnations accumulated, in which you had done 24 mighty sinful deeds. The 23 anushtanas that you did purified, if you had done one more, I would have conferred the vision. But you chose to renounce, but that act of renunciation also equals one anushtana. What you have done, what you would have done over so many months or over a year, today you have done by renouncing. I'm here. I grant you the boon you wish. The texts on Vedanta written by him are read up to this day. The translation of the Vedas, commentaries on the Vedas done by him also are the most authentic available up to at least the last century that were used by people. I always talk to you about earning and saving. The way you earn money and you count your money, don't you? How much I've got in the bank account. This month I will get so much in my paycheck. This much I have to pay off. I'll put in $50 in my savings. And you keep building the savings, hopefully. Huh? One should earn and save one's mantra in that manner. How much have I earned? How much have I earned? How much have I earned? And how much have I spent? So what do you mean by spending? Can I spend my mantra? Yes. Talk too much, you spend the power. Sit down, gossip, you spend the power. Little effectiveness begins to come into you. You use it for unnecessary things. Use it to show off your spirituality or your knowledge. You spend. Save, don't spend. Follow? Do the mantra more and again and again. Huh? Become a millionaire. Become a billionaire. And the intangible wealth generates tangible wealth if that is what you want. But then if you would use the intangible wealth to generate tangible wealth, then you fall right down back again to the bhur loka, to the lowest world, and you have to start all over again. I know of a great, very, very great Swami, a master, and I got angry at a certain particular country in the Himalayan region. And he said, if I want, I can destroy this whole country with one single earthquake. He said, I can destroy this whole country with one single earthquake. He said, but that will throw me back 7 incarnations. I'm not going to do that. Follow? Those who are masters of solar science do have that power. They have that capacity. This is nothing. You do not know what the power of the sound forces is. Huh? Every mantra has a rishi. You know the term rishi? R-I-S-H-I. Every mantra has a rishi. Rishi is the one through whom the mantra was revealed for the first time in any given kalpa. You know what a kalpa is? K-A-L-P-A. Cycle of creation. So the rishi, the sage through whom the mantra was revealed for the first time in the current cycle of creation. Huh? We never recite the mantra without remembering that rishi. We never. We never recite the mantra without linking ourselves to that sage through whom that sound and that power and that wisdom was revealed. The rishi of the Gayatri Mantra in the Veda is named Vishwamitra. The rishi of the Gayatri Mantra through whom the mantra was revealed the first time is named Vishwamitra. The word means friend of the universe. Many times people don't like to hear these legends and stories from India because they think it's too far-fetched, too big. No. And some master saying you can create an earthquake. No. And I say, oh, that's nothing. The story about Vishwamitra is that the gods said that he was not going to permit one of his disciples into heaven. And he got very angry and very upset and created his own universe with its own heaven. Take it or leave it. The stories are there. So this is the Gayatri. And tomorrow we'll study it a little bit more in depth. So once again, the essence of the universe is in the three founts of wisdom called the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas in the three segments of the Gayatri, the essence of the three segments of the Gayatri in the three Mahavyahritis, or the mega utterances, Bhur, Bhuvah, Swaha, the essence of those three in A, U, Om, Bhur, Bhuvah, Swaha, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. What does it mean? As you know, mantras have multi-level meanings. So I shall deal with a few of the meanings, as many as I can cover. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three. Okay? Tat, that. This word that is a very essential word. It deals with essences. Tat, that. In the four Maha Vakyas, the great utterances of the Vedanta, the first utterance is Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. That thou art. That which you are, that very one, is what? That very one is Savituhu Varenyam Bhargaha. Choice-worthy, beautiful, attractive, ever to be chosen. Such a brilliance and effulgence, burning splendor of the creative sun, the one who impels, one who creates, such a solar force. As I said, in the revelation of solar science, it is not that you are an observer and you observe the light of the 10,000 suns, but you establish by personal experience the identity with those 10,000 suns. No. Tat, that you are. What are you? Savitur Varenyam Bharga. You are that beautiful, burning brilliance of the sun. Understand it. When I teach you, I do not teach you mostly, for the most part, anything that is already published in English. That's my principle. For these seminars, my principle is not to teach you what is already published in English. I do have 2 books on Gayatri on display in English, and you can order them. It's a general reading, very good reading, inspiring reading. One of them is in a more Western idiom, And one of them is in English, but it's in Indian English and not in a Western idiom. But I prefer the one that is not in Western idiom. You would have problem putting together the meaning of the words, but once you get into it, you will gain something. Okay? The Gayatri has been extolled for thousands of years for some reason. I was in the island of Bali in Indonesia. Every citizen, every school child does the Gayatri 3 times a day. To this day. And they have viewed Gayatri as a deity. I have 3 pictures here. You can put them over there. You can look. Don't ask me to explain the symbolism completely. The Gayatri of the morning, Gayatri of the afternoon, midday, and Gayatri of the evening. You can put them on display and people can order if they want to get a copy. You can look at the symbolism if it inspires you. What is the subject of the Gayatri then? Tat, that. What is that? That very one which you are. What are you? You are that beautiful Varenyam, ever to be chosen. Such a burning splendor of the solar force. Who is that sun? The very sun in whom 1,000 suns, 1,000,000 suns become one. The very Brahman, the source of light that dwells within you. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bharga. And what is the object of the Gayatri? Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. I'm not doing word for word yet. I'll do that tomorrow. May he inspire and impel my buddhi. Are you familiar with the word buddhi? B-U-D-D-H-I, buddhi. Okay. Let's leave this far for tonight. We'll continue tomorrow. For tomorrow evening, do bring your mala. The best mala for the Gayatri Japa is crystal. If you have crystal, it's best. If you don't have crystal, then whatever you have, use that. All right? It's fine. No. The clarity of crystal is in consonance with the prayer for the clarity of intellect and the clarity of mind and the purification of mind. All right?